Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is Ball Not Court Podcast host Cortez Paul.
Along with my co-host Paul Mack.
I want to thank you folks for tuning in today and listening to the show. Basically, we cover basketball, football, NCAA, or anything that's related to current events with a humorous twist to it, at least. You can follow the podcast at BIOC Podcast at X or Twitter. We're also on Instagram at the same name, BIOC Podcast. You go to our YouTube channel, that's also BIOC Podcast. Our Facebook page is Balls Not Court Podcast. So if you could please just give us a like, shout, comment on any of those, and definitely subscribe to our YouTube channel. And we thank you for listening and enjoy the show. Balls Not Court Podcast. Thank you very much. Welcome to the Ball Not Court Podcast. Cortez Paul is here. Paul Mack to my right, wearing some new attire. If you see
new merch,
man, and right by the logo. It's crazy. This logo is right there. This logo on the screen. So, yeah, man, I'm glad to finally give him a hat.
Yeah, bro, we're here now.
Paul is not in the same vicinity he was when we kind of started this podcast, so he's a bit a ways away. So I got to ship him stuff.
Bro, I live in Orlando, bro, and you're probably in Orlando more than I am.
Yep, due to a basketball team right now that's not playing well, but we can talk about another day. But hey, man, big day is upon us. Sorry, ladies and gent, podcast not come. I was across the pond, they like to say. So
my man was jet setting across the pond.
Yeah, man. So I was enjoying myself over there, and it was a blast. So kind of recouping from jet lag, because coming back from Europe to U.S. is a pain. That's not fun.
Oh no,
I've been sleeping for like 10, 11 hours on my days off. Then the cold weather that we've been having. Yes, we do have cold winters down here in Florida. It is possible. The coldest day we had in years, decades. Been dealing with sickness, so if I sound stuffy, I apologize. But we're back here just in time for the big day, the big game. So this is going to be Super Bowl number 60 between the New England Patriots and the Seattle Seahawks. We are here. This is going to be played in San Francisco, Levi Stadium, 6:30 game on NBC. So should be a good one. Should see how this square up to be. Paul, before we get into breaking everything down, man, this is another year. We make it to the Super Bowl. Our predictions is not going as we thought it was going to be.
I was close, man. I was close. You were close.
Yes.
You were very close.
Very, very, very close. So, before we get into it, man, talk to me about what Super Bowl mean to you, man, and the fact that we get to talk about this. But as a fan, what does this particular spectacle of an event means to you?
I mean, it's funny, like, as like you get older and stuff, right? Because it used to be about the commercials and about all this stuff, but like the way that it's consumed now, where it's going to be, people stream it and it's not, I think last year it was on Tubi and all this stuff, and a lot of these companies like start releasing the commercials like before the game, so like they kind of trickle in like the week before, and they kind of show what they're going to be doing. It becomes less about the commercials and just more about the football, which is fine. Like as long as you have like a good, competent football game, like that's all I could ask for. Is that like the two best teams are playing each other. Whether that's happening this year, I we'll see. But like I mean, the halftime show is always fun. The controversy surrounding the halftime show this year, and
Yeah.
the opening ceremonies and the stuff that's happening, it just becomes more of a spectacle than the game itself. And I don't know. It sucks when like the news and the way that the world is going to overshadow the biggest football game of the year. But it's gonna be fun, man. It's gonna be fun. Hopefully, no one gets carted out by anybody, and everybody gets to go enjoy the game. And
I know what you're doing there. Nice. So I will say this, man. It is always cool to kind of deal with this event, and it's always fun to see just the camaraderie that comes around it. And I'm just not talking about just in the event itself, but just your everyday friends and neighbors and what it means and the parties, that the planning that goes into it. This is definitely one of the most watched events in the world. So it's always cool to see just how at some point that we just rally around this pretty much this event here. Yes, there's plenty of controversy around it. There's a bunch of storylines that pertains to the football teams and how they got there.
And there's a bunch of storylines that have nothing to do with the football team.
Absolutely. So, I mean, it's just so many things that go into tell with a Super Bowl. So this one is, I'm pretty sure there's going to be a lot of just hoopla around it. Just see what, Twitter and the social medias and Facebook and whatever you're using is going to be talking about these days regarding this event. But needless to say, man, we're here.
It is weird too, because like I forgot that like the Pro Bowl was this past weekend. Like that game has just been buried under just whatever. You know what I mean? Like that is just whatever, man. Like I had no idea. I started seeing highlights on my phone like when I was at work yesterday. I was like, oh shit, that was this weekend. Whoop, I didn't know.
Yeah, I'm sitting like that was this weekend, and then I'm watching reruns on ESPN. I'm like, that happened?
Yeah, it's like football, baby.
I totally forgot that it's happened. Like
they gotta fix that, man. They gotta fix it.
Man, some entertainment, man. All right, what is your go-to snack when it comes to or food, or what must Paul Mack have on Super Bowl Sunday? What is your go-to food?
I mean,
for this
the
event?
last few years I've become very fond of buffalo chicken dip.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That's been a doozy. Any kind of dip, really. Spinach dip with some chips. But a nice buffalo chicken dip, man, that thing goes a long way. Because then, like, it eliminates having to have, like, chicken wings and other stuff, too. So you just got the dip there. Then that gives you the opportunity to have something else if you get hungry. You know what I mean? Like, my girlfriend's really good at making, like, finger food. So, pigs in a blanket or whatever. But, like, if you wanted to order a pizza, it's like you got a pizza. Because, like, you got your buffalo chicken and the dip over here and all this stuff. But, no, I mean, I'm pretty simple. I just like to pick throughout the game. Like, I'm not trying to have a huge spread, but if I just have a table full of options and I get to just kind of have my way, I'm a fan of the finger food. So definitely
There
dips and beverages for sure of the adult variety.
I mean, I hear you. Gotta have the wings for sure. That's just a go-to for me. I did bring a dip that Publix made last year. Was a Philly cheesesteak dip.
Oh, okay, Publix. I see you.
That was excellent, I must say. It was very tasty.
Publix don't play, bro. Publix don't play.
They don't. And I remember I bought, because it was a buy one get one free deal, I think last year. And I brought it to a friend's house. I was like, hey, heat this up. And they all fell in love. You got another one? I said, I got one for me back at the house. I just wanted to bring, just in case it was really good. I wanted to say one.
Just in case it hit. I don't want to, you know what I mean?
And it didn't miss. So, yeah, but I'm upset at myself because I told myself I knew Bad Bunny was going to be the performer. And I had to try to find a Latino party. And I just didn't do my due diligence on that. So that's me. I'm owning up to that. I'm going to a Super Bowl party. The people are not Hispanic, but they're smoking some wings. They're smoking some food. So all that. I'm cool, but I really wanted to get some authentic. Like, Puerto Rican food somewhere, and I'm disappointed. And you know what? A matter of fact, I'm disappointed in a bunch of my Latino friends. I know a bunch of y'all, and y'all did not invite me, bro. My name is Cortez. I got a first name. This the perfect time to invite me to come to a Super Bowl party and indulge in some food. And Bad Bunny's gonna be the reformer. I'm gonna say that to all my Latino friends. I'm calling them out right now. I'm gonna say that to all y'all. I still love.
I was gonna say, I know you got some, bro. Where they at?
Yeah, I got some, but I'm going to some of my white friends' house. But they got a smoker. They got a smoker.
I had a friend who like randomly texted us the other day. He's like, checking out Bad Bunny for the first time. It's pretty good. I'm like, you're just now listening to this guy? I don't care what like language you speak. I don't care what like guy's the hottest artist in the world, bro. You've heard some Bad Bunny. You probably just didn't know about it.
You didn't know about it, yeah. I mean, hey, at Subport, he sells his product very well. I don't understand what the hell he's saying, but
hey,
I have to translate for me, man. Translate for me. So, but food's gonna be great. Everything's gonna be good. So let's get into the games here. Let's talk about here. So let's start off with New England. They got here. They won the wild card. They was a second seed. They ended up being the Los Angeles Chargers, 16-3. They won the divisional round against the Houston Texans, 28-16, and then they beat the Denver Broncos 10-7. So, Paul, what do you think about the path for the New England Patriots to get here? A lot of talk about, we talked about them heavily, but they did find a way to get there, and they are in the big game. Drake, man, is very young, second-year quarterback, so this is a good experience for him and his team. So, your thoughts about New England getting there and their path to get here?
I mean, this hits you more than it hits me, right? Because like my team fucking sucks, so like I don't have to deal with like whatever. But you're a guy who all year there's this talk in the background of how good are we? Like you guys are 10-2 or whatever, and it's just like they're the Broncos. I don't have faith in the Broncos. Meanwhile, the New England Patriots probably had the easiest schedule, played the most below 500 teams. Had a much easier route to the Super Bowl, having to go through, the route that they went through, and it's just to get to the point where you're in the AFC Championship and you're playing the Broncos, and of all the things to happen, Bo Nix breaks his ankle basically on the second to last play of the game the week before, essentially taking a knee. I don't know even when it happened. Like, I don't know what, like, he seemed fine. Then it's like, oh, yeah, his ankle's broke. I was like, what? He walked off the field. Like, I didn't think anything of it. But, then you're going up against Jarrett Stidham, who, hasn't played a game in, 3 years or some shit. Like, and then I don't know what happened. I was watching that game, and it was a beautiful game. And then I went to my mom's house, and I was like, oh, let me put the Bronco game on. And what the fuck happened?
Like mid-third quarter, dude. This snowstorm came out of nowhere.
Oh, shit. And that's the other thing, too, is so you got Jarrett Stidham, who hasn't played a game in 3 years. And now he has to navigate a blizzard.
This poor guy.
Come on, poor guy, bro. It's just, I get it. Sometimes the stars just align and shit happens, man. But, because it's the Patriots, it's going to be looked at differently if it was anybody else. If the Broncos somehow beat them and the Broncos are in the Super Bowl, you still hear about how the Broncos are frauds, and the reason why the Broncos won was because it started snowing and blah, 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 blah. And all these excuses as to why the Patriots lost, and not, the fact that the Patriots won because the Broncos' best offensive player was out, and there was a fucking snowstorm, and it literally was just the whole field was just white. And it's just at that point you're already winning, so it's you have to just control the game at that point. You don't really got to make any plays, and it sucks because the Broncos defense played really well, and it's just not having a quarterback is unfortunate. But like I said, you dealt with it all year, hearing the hate speak on your Denver Broncos, and the Patriots having a similar season and they get praise. The Northeast is built different, bro.
I'm glad you brought that up because I'm literally just trying to be like. So that loss for me as a Broncos fan, which is more just disappointing, just saying in because it's going to be the coulda, woulda, shoulda, man. Like that's how it is. Now New England won the game. Give them credit, they won the game. So I mean, I can't sit there and take that away from them. But I mean, I definitely and listen, Jarrett Stidham did do a fantastic job trying to step into that. 2 years since he had started the game is what I looked up and saw. He also had one turnover that he shouldn't have probably just went down. And he didn't go down. And then he tried to throw the ball, and it was a fumble. That was rule of fumble. So it was just you be in that situation a few years, and that happens. And it's just we should have kicked the field goal too, just knowing if it was going to be that kind of conditions. Me personally, I know that's why I kind of criticize Peyton on this call because you have a backup quarterback. You don't know what could happen. Anything can happen, and a fucking blizzard happened. Is what happened. So
Jesus Christ.
I would have took the 3 points. I just would have took the 3 points. You don't have Bo Nix in there, so and that defense really held Drake May into the place too. And then when that snowstorm, you saw the ball where Jarrett Stidham went back to pass. Christian Gonzalez was right there in all white. He blended in with the snow. You just can't see it. Interception. So I'm just like, oh. So that's why I said I came a bit mad, and I'm glad that the fan base rallied around Stidham, try to push him, try to get him there. But no, man, it's funny, man. It's just it's so funny that these two teams had a similar route to get what they need to get, and it's just been all praise for like, oh, New England this, and this is where they're at, and Mike Vrabel should be coach of the year and all this, and then come turn around, Denver's a fries. They did this. They're barely winning games, and it's just like, bro, the football gods are just cruel sometimes. It's like, just when we wanted to shut everybody up, my quarterback go down, and we should have called a holding play against Buffalo in the end zone, and the game would have been over in overtime. We would have won on the safety conversion there. And it's just the guys. And I'm in England, dude. Y'all, I found this out the next morning when I'm getting you and Brad and everybody else testing me that Bo Nix is out. Wait, what? Wait,
bro,
what?
I watched the game, and I was talking about how like happy I was that they won, and we're over here like making memes of you, and we're making little pictures. We're all having a good time, and then someone's like, "Oh, Bo Nix is out for the season." I was like, "What? What did he do? When? He finished the game? Like what? When did he get hurt?" And then it's like, well, that takes the fucking wind out of our sails. You know what I mean? Like we're having a good time. We're all celebrating with you and for you, and then we get that news, and it's like, man, you know what this is? This is the football equivalent of when the Celtics won the finals a couple years ago. Just like poor, like they get the luck of the draw. Really good regular season. They get the luck of the draw. Just really poor matchups in the postseason and injuries in the postseason, and here they are in the championship.
Right. It's just what's up with Boston and these teams, man. It's just so lucky, bro. It's just so
like you literally played the Chargers, who are atrocious in the postseason. You played the Texans. CJ Stroud probably played the worst game I've ever seen a human being play. Mm-hmm. I don't know what that was. He was so bad he cut his hair. And then you have to, and then you go and you play Denver, and their quarterback gets injured, and they have no quarterback.
Yeah, and listen, they got there. They got to the big game, man. And listen, it's hard to win 14 games. I get it. We talked about their schedule. It is hard to win 14 some games in the NFL. It is hard. I give them credit for making it do. But man, if you just look at their schedule, man, it was just so easy, man. And they just didn't get the same flack as Denver did. Like you heard more about Denver being fries than you heard about New England. But here's the good thing about New England as well. They got a lot of cap room for the offseason. And they can still build around Drake, man, and give some talents. But at the end of the day, bro, like, listen, their defense is really good, though. Their defense is excellent, man. Like, they put pressure on the quarterback. They read the gaps very well. Their linebackers are really solid. So you can tell this is a well-coached Mike Vrabel type of defensive team that he got. It's a really good football team on the defense side of the ball. I just don't see it on them on offense. I just don't. I know Drake Maye has been excellent, but at times where you got to play they play really good defenses here. Chargers got a good defense. The Texans got a good defense. It's just like you mentioned, the other side of the ball that couldn't keep up with their defense just caught up. And Drake Maye is not beating these teams bad like he is in the postseason.
He struggled. He struggled this postseason for sure. And again, like that's probably playing against really good defenses because like as bad as the Texans looked on offense, like their defense kept them in that game as long as feasibly possible. You know what I mean? Like your defense can only keep you in the game for so long, but CJ Stroud just, couldn't move the ball. So it's just, the Chargers have like the worst offensive line ever. Texans terrible offensive. So it's just like the matchups were just very favorable. Like I get it, it happens sometimes. Like I'm not gonna make excuses or whatever, but it's just let's pipe down. Let's pump the brakes a little bit.
So Drake Maye went from a regular season having a 72 completion percentage to 55% in the postseason. That's a hell of a drop off, man. And this is where you want to see your games. Now, I meant the talent is better. Drake Maye is putting them in positions to make sure that they do get down. Now, the one turn that we just had from Jarrett Stidham, he was right there in the red zone, and he ran in, and it was a good 8-yard run to get the touchdown. So he's doing stuff with his legs as well too. But he's a young quarterback. He's learned. This is a process for him. But he has not been a world beater. It's been that defense. That Patriots defense is really, really good, man. So, we can talk about New England. I know, listen, congratulations. They got to the Super Bowl. I got a couple of friends that live in Boston. They've been respectful for the most part. They have been respectful. So, congratulations to them. Let's see what happens to them in the Super Bowl. Let's talk about the flip side, their opponent, the Seattle Seahawks. They actually had a bye. They had number one seed in the NFC. They won a divisional round 41-6. They stumped the 49ers, which they're going to be playing on their home turf for a Super Bowl. Wonder how 49er fans feel about that. Probably not very happy about that. Then they won a conference championship in a really good game against the Rams. That was 31-27. So
every game this year versus the Rams, man, like those two teams put on a clinic, bro.
I am telling you, man. So Mike McDonald's doing a really good job. This team is 14-3. Their defense is excellent. You can talk about Jackson Smith-Jigba. He's been having a hell of a season as their number one threat on the wide receiver position. Sam Darnold has done it again. He won 14 games last year with the Minnesota Vikings. He won 14 games with the Seattle Seahawks. That's the first time it's ever happened that someone switched teams and won 14 games back-to-back with different teams. Very impressed about Sam Darnold to do that. Talk to me, Paul, about their route getting here. They really dominating all facets of the game. The first game they play, you can tell they had that get by. And then, like you mentioned about the thrill that always is between them and the Rams.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely was a harder road. Like you have to feel like they're the more complete football team. Like their defense is tremendous. Their offense with Jackson Smith and Jigba and Kenneth Walker, like he's really come alive. Like I know they lost Zach Charbonnet, but like they're still a very dynamic offense. Sam Darnold, kudos to that guy, man. Like if in case we thought maybe last year was a fluke, like what a season from Sam Darnold. And that's what I was gonna say, man. I mean, he led the league in turnovers, I'm pretty sure. But you know what?
Mm-hmm.
It's okay when your defense is that good, I guess. You know what I mean? It's because he also threw for a lot of yards and a lot of touchdowns. And when you have the most explosive offensive weapon in Jackson Smith and Jigba, I mean that doesn't hurt either. But I'm just impressed, man, because even just their division alone, like having to play the 49ers twice, having to play, the Rams twice, like it's a gauntlet, man. And they did it and they ran it and they won the games that they have to win. And just kudos to the kudos to the Seahawks, man, because this is a team where it's funny because it's like one of those things where we see what happened to Pete Carroll. He went to Oakland and that did not go well. But like, yeah, he essentially like handed off a hell of a football team, and then they've been a. This looks like the Seahawks of old that we saw, a decade ago. Like they're just, except they probably have a better quarterback. I mean, I know that was prime Russell Wilson, but like the way Kenneth Walker runs, it may not be as physical as Marshawn Lynch, and obviously they have one just completely like just dynamic receivers that having a bunch of guys out there that can make plays. They got tight ends. They run a lot of like heavy personnel sometimes. They do some things, and they're very well coached. And it's just like I always look at it from the barest bones of the situation, and it's like they had the teams that the Seahawks had to play all year versus who the Patriots play all year. I mean, just their division alone, they're getting 6 wins out of their division. You know what I mean? Like they have to play the Dolphins, the Jets, and the freaking. Well, I guess they played Buffalo, but Buffalo wasn't the Buffalo that we knew they were. So I mean, they got 4 or 5 wins out of their division, which is a pretty big chunk. Where Seattle had to earn those wins, man, because the 49ers won double-digit games, the Rams won double-digit games. So those were teams that literally were world beaters, and then they had to play each other twice each. So.
Their path literally was going through the NFC West again in the postseason. That was Seattle Seahawks path.
That was the NFC West.
NFC West again.
That's the power. That's the power division. And honestly, depending on what happens with Matthew Stafford after the season's over, if he stays, if he retires, whatever, but it'll probably be the power division next year too.
Yeah,
because the 49ers are only going to get healthy. So I mean, I'm hoping for a good game, but like the way that this matches up, like it just seems like Seattle is destined to pull it off, especially with just the road that they took to get there.
Yeah, man. Going back to that game with the Rams and the Seahawks, just how irritating the stats was for the quarterbacks. Matt Stafford was 22 of 35 and had 374 yards, 3 touchdowns, got sacked 1 time. Sam Darnold, 25-36. He threw at 346 yards, 3 touchdowns, got sacked 3 times. The quarterback rating for Matthew Stafford, 127.6. Quarterback rating for Sam Darnold, 127.8. It literally just came down to whoever had the ball that was going to win this game and who made a turnover and whatnot. And as far as I'd seen, is it was the Rams that had a turnover. And that it was the fumble. But it's just crazy to see how just insane how close this game was. This to me, in my opinion, just the way Football Sunday was set up last week, this was the Super Bowl. I'm sorry. Even if I had bonus playing, I just believe that NFC teams are really good, man. And did I have faith in my Broncos if we had bonus? Absolutely. But man, this game right here was fantastic between these two teams. And so it's going to see how it's going to line up here. I mean, I'm with you, Paul. I just don't know. I'm not. The event itself is going to be cool. I don't know. I'm not expecting much from the football game. Just personally not. And maybe that. I mean, I'm trying not to come off as me be sour about my Broncos losing. I'm not. But from what I saw with us, with a backup quarterback, and you went to Denver and you barely beat us by 3, and your quarterback didn't have a crazy game. The defense was the one that mucked it up a little bit. Compared to where I see these two quarterbacks putting up this many yards, can I guess what I'm saying is, do I see a scenario where Matt, not Matt. I'm sorry. Do I see a scenario where that if Sam Darnold is he going to throw under 125 yards against this defense in the Patriots defense? And we ain't got to worry about weather elements. They're in San Francisco. The weather is supposed to be somewhat decent.
Yeah,
I'm just trying to paint the picture for them. This team scored 31 points to win the game, and they had to because the Rams was on their ass, yo. The Broncos defense is otherworldly good, but we also had Mother Nature came in and had an effect on this, and that game was 10-7. Then you go back and look at the path and see, okay, well, they put 28 against the Texans, okay, but they're at home. They're at home. The Chargers, 16 points. I'm just trying to see the highest point that they put up was against the New York Jets, 42 points. 42 points against Carolina Panthers. I don't see them putting up 42 points against that defense. I just don't. I mean, unless you can think of some ways you look at it, Paul, that here
I'm pretty sure if you gathered your group of guys that you do your turkey bowl with every Thanksgiving, you could probably put up 42 points on the Jets.
Yeah. So I guess to me, I'm gonna ask you this: what does the Patriots need to do? What's their game plan against this Seattle Seahawks defense? I'm looking at the Seattle Seahawks defense here, and just trying to analyze what can they do against this defense here. What are your thoughts process?
I think you're going to have to run the ball. That's for sure. So whether that's Ramondre Stevenson, whether that's Travion Henderson, you got to run the ball because if Drake May is not going to be able to sit back and throw on that defense, and obviously you don't want him running a whole bunch and taking unnecessary contact either. So like, it's hard, man, because that defense is so good, and those guys are going to be, a bunch of ball hawks out there. And I know like Stevenson's had some fumble issues. You know what I mean? So where they got to go running back by committee, where they got to be able to run the ball. They got to be able to keep that defense on the field, because especially we know, and like again, like New England's defense is good, but like we know how fast and explosive the Seahawks offense is. So you want to keep that defense on the field. You want to wear that defense down. You want to have long drives. And the only way you're going to do it is if you can run the ball. And, I don't want to see Drake May get wrecked for four quarters. So, like, for God's sake, please, like, let someone be able to run the ball. And then just, not turn it over. Seattle's one of those teams, man, like, similar to the Rams. You can't give them extra possessions. You don't want to give them extra possessions. The ones they have are going to be more than enough, and you just want to take care of the ball, play smart. I know Vrabel's a hell of a coach. You know what I mean? I know he'll have a hell of a game plan. I know he's implemented a bunch of curfews and let people know, like, hey man, if you missed the bus, you missed the game, brother. Like if you ain't, get in where you fit in, pal. But yeah, man, it's young quarterback, second year. Big lights on him. You just got to simplify the game, make it simple. And just, don't turn the ball over, run it, make the smart throw. If it ain't there, throw it away. But you got to play kind of possession football against, and even that's tough too, because like they traded and they got Raheem Shaheed, and like that guy's explosive, bro. Like every time he gets the ball in his hands, like he had one catch last week for like 30 yards, first play of the game. You know what I mean? And then we saw against the Rams, like in the regular season, he runs a punt for a touchdown. Like he's like Devin Hester. Guy's explosive. So you gotta be careful there too. You can't even punt him. You can't even punt. Like it's tough. So you have to really take care of the ball. Luckily, you'll have the weather on your side. It should be a beautiful game. But yeah, I mean, like I said, I just don't see an area where New England has like the advantage, and it's tough.
Yeah. Like you said, you mentioned they ran a good game against Denver. They had 141 yards on them. That's something they do well. They get third down conversions pretty well too. time possession. If you want to beat Seattle, you just got to win the time possession battle. You got to drag this out. It's got to be, game of trenches. This ain't the way New England's got to win this game. It's got to be muck it up a little bit, because if they get going on the perimeter with these receivers that they have, and then Sam Darnold get to open it up a little bit, it's just going to be interesting to see what happens with that, because and then Drake Man's got to use his legs too. He got to use his legs. He's got to run the ball as well, make himself available in that way that can kind of set up some play action passes, some RPOs, go from there and see how that works. But it's going to be real challenging against this defense to do that. It's going to be see how they're going to play out. Now, in retrospect, what do you think Seattle should do to go ahead and actually game plan for New England?
I mean, I think it's similar. It's similar to kind of what they've done all year, man. Like, just get pressure on the quarterback, force Drake May to make plays he doesn't want to make, force him to maybe get a turnover, stop the run. And again, they want to control the clock too. Like, they don't want to keep that defense on the field longer than they need to. But it's just hard, man, because like I said, like, I don't see an area where New England has an advantage. So like, Seattle can just kind of go out and just play their game and let New England try to, alter their game plan to fit what Seattle's doing, because on paper, Seattle should be able to do whatever they want. And like I know the Patriots defense is pretty good. Their linebackers are good, but it's just like the only thing you have going for you if you're the Patriots is like Sam Darnold is vulnerable to the turnover.
Yep.
So like if you're the Patriots, you have to try to get Sam Darnold to turn the football over. He's done it all year. The Super Bowl is no different. I mean, he's under the big lights. He's just as capable of throwing interceptions or whatever. But that's what you're going to have to do, because if you're the Patriots, you're going to need as many possessions as possible. So you're going to have to really put pressure on Sam Darnold, get him to throw the ball. Stop the big plays, obviously, because Jackson Smith and Jigba can stretch the field. So you don't want to give up anything over the top. It's just like I feel like I'm talking to like Pop Warner kids, just like fundamental football, like just smart fundamental football is kind of what you have to do in the situation when you're the, I'm assuming they're the underdog in this situation, and just the only thing you really have going for you is that Sam Darnold can and probably will turn the ball over once or twice. What you choose to do with it,
yeah. You might be on to something here, because he's got 11 fumbles, 14 interceptions.
That's what I'm saying.
That's big. That's big.
He'll give it up to you, brother.
Yeah. One fumble, and then in the playoffs, and then so far in the postseason, no interceptions. 4 touchdowns, no interceptions. So very clean game from him in that aspect in the 2 games that he played. But if he starts throwing interceptions and fumbles, then yeah, New England defense did what they did in Denver, flip the field, now becomes an easier scoring opportunity for the Patriots. Patriots can't walk away with field goals. They got to walk away with 6 and 7 points.
Mm-hmm.
So if they can get the ball and turn it over on the other side of the field, you can't leave points against that team, because we see them come back numerous times. So I don't know what to make of it, but it's going to be interesting to see how this plays out here, man. So, what would it mean? I guess let's talk about Sam Darnold a bit. Let's talk about his path. What would it mean for him to get a Super Bowl, knowing what all he's been through as a quarterback in the NFL?
I mean, I'm trying to think of a crazier just story than Sam Darnold if he wins the Super Bowl. I don't think it exists, right? This guy was written off multiple times, and you know what I mean. It just shows that the NFL, the quarterback model, sometimes is just don't give up. Don't give up on a guy, man. Like, sometimes you just need to be in the right situation, the right system. Like, there's so many factors that go into, especially a young quarterback coming out of college, out of their success. And it's just because that first, And you see with Baker Mayfield too, like he's gotten a lot better in the right system. Obviously, he hasn't won a Super Bowl, but it's just like you see a lot of these number one picks, or these high draft picks, kind of fail at their first shot, and then they're just forever backups, or they're just just forgotten about. And for Sam Darnold to really just like hone in, lock in, and just revitalize his career. I mean, they're gonna make a movie about this guy if he wins the Super Bowl, bro. It's gonna be a Kurt Warner style situation. You know what I'm saying? Where he was coming out of the Arena League and all this junk and all that. Like this is basically the same thing. Like, this guy was basically gonna go work for FedEx. I feel like this guy was washed.
It was
And
bad.
here he is, back to back, first quarterback to win 14 or more games on two separate teams in back to back seasons.
Mhm.
Like, knowing that Minnesota let him go is crazy to me.
And knowing now how their season ended and where he's at right now is even crazier.
Yeah, like it's just like, man, that's the way it goes, man. But it just shows you that the Jets are the Jets, man. And just because you get drafted and you don't come out so hot, you'll be all right if you just keep your head on straight and just sometimes you gotta be a journeyman and find the right coach, find the right system. And luckily there's enough young coordinators and young head coaches that have the patience and the time to invest in these players now. I think it might be a real shift in how the NFL kind of operates. I think we might start seeing some guys that maybe we haven't heard in a while or forgot about. They're just kind of still hanging around and getting developed. So, just I'm happy for him. And I'm just ready for the Hallmark movie when he wins the Super Bowl.
This is a cool story, man. To go from the the Jets, sorry, New York Jets, Carolina Panthers, San Francisco 49ers, Minnesota, Seattle. This was a third overall draft pick for New York Jets back in the 2018 draft. So the story that he has had, and we have seen many quarterbacks his statue in college. He was a dominant college football quarterback at USC. And you see these stories all the time with some of these quarterbacks. The persistence and the perseverance of Sam Darnold should not go overlooked.
No.
I really feel like, man, if he does get this one, man, it's probably gonna be very emotional for him for sure. Just being told you can't do this, you can't do that, you're not good enough here. You was good enough. We don't like where you're progressing. This is a very amicable story of Sam Darnold. So I'm interested to see how this plays out. I really hope that he had the chance to win Super Bowl MVP and cement his story, man. This is what it's all about, man. Sometimes you look at the stories, man, and how to make something out of a dream and what contest it may fall in. It could be, in a career that you're trying to find your niche and do it this way. It could be something where you just came from the trenches and did what you had to do and find what you had to do and everything like that. But to come and won the best league in football and go through the turmoil and the trials and tribulations and, just hearing you're not good enough and you're refusing to believe that. And you're coming out and you won 14 games for a team last year. They didn't even want you. They went to their top-notch draft selections like, oh, J.J. McCarthy is enough. Well, guess what? Mike McDonald and his coaching staff in Seattle said, well, hey, listen, Gino had a good year. If we can do better, let's pick up this guy. And you get rewarded with a Super Bowl trip with this guy. Just a real cool story to see. It's nothing against New England Patriots. New England Patriots, they're a fantastic story too. But to see what Sam Darnold's been through, this is incredible. He's got very elite talent around him. Very good slot receivers. Running backs are solid. Defense is fantastic. Just like the Minnesota team last year, it was a really good team you had around you. And going home and behold, you learned your lesson. You got taken out in the first round where everybody called Minnesota a fluke. You went through the toughest division, man, and beat two of your counterparts to get where you at right now. Doesn't get sweeter than that. Well, it does get sweeter if you win the Super Bowl. Go get it, Sam Darnold.
Mm-hmm.
All right, with that being said, who wins this game? Score prediction. And what are you going to do? Enjoy the last game of football until we see this again in the fall.
Let's see. I'm going to take Seattle 27-17. Yeah, 27-17. I think it's just one of those. They're going to jump on them early and probably not look back, but maybe I'll be proven wrong. I don't know, but I'm not going to pick the Patriots to win. That's just not in my DNA. So, but
I hear you.
Eli didn't get in the Hall of Fame, so I'm he's in my personal Hall of Fame. He beat the Patriots twice. He beat Tom Brady twice. He's in my personal Hall of Fame.
Bill Belichick didn't make it either.
Isn't that wild?
So was it Brady after all?
Most playoff wins all time. Top 5 wins all time.
Yeah.
Guy ran out of fingers to wear Super Bowl rings.
Yeah.
Couple scandals, bro. Whatever, dude. Deflategate, whatever. Spygate, whatever, man.
Oh, good.
But yeah, man, I'm ready to lock in, bro. I'm off on Monday, so I get to literally just enjoy the Super Bowl. It's the first night probably since like New Year's Eve where I could have a cocktail or two and not have to worry about any consequences. So yeah, man, I'll be chilling, brother. I'm ready. I'm excited. I'm sad it's over, but I'm ready.
There it is. All right. I'm going 27-13. I think they're going to get 27 points as well, too, Paul. 27-13, Seattle win this game. Just feel like all around better team. The good thing about the Patriots is that they do have a lot of cap money that they can build around this young talent that they have to get here, to get where you guys are and where you was compared to a couple of seasons ago. It's a very wonderful story. One expected to be a Boston way. That's how I lived in Boston for 2 years, so I know how they operate. This is just a tough as nails team, and to get where they need to be, and they got there. But I just feel like this defense is going to be a little too much, too fast. Drake Maine is going to be put in uncomfortable situations, and I think it's too much to overcome. The running game's got to be really superb. And you mentioned Sam Darnold's got to turn the ball. He hadn't turned the ball this postseason. He's been very clean. So I think he found a way to take care of the ball, and he won Super Bowl MVP as well. Football is it's going to be fun. Off season, I'm just looking forward to see what Denver's going to do. Just listening to some of the interviews, they really felt like it was an opportunity missed. My depressing video was just kind of like what could have, should have been. Just try to be retrospective of all I can, but just kind of keeping me humble. That man, it would have been interesting to see Bo Nix play because that kid works his tail off, man. It would have been been great to see him play. Build around him. We get Russell Wilson. His dead cap falls off our salary cap, so make some room, get some play. I hope that in the Pro Bowl, I know I saw Cortez and Paul kind of getting buddy with George Pickens. Please talk to him. Get in his ear. Tell him come to Denver, please. And then basketball is still here, even though that's in a depressing state that I'm watching my basketball team trying to attempt to play defense that used to play defense. So I'll be locking into basketball. It's funny. I just got an email about renewing my season tickets. I'll do it because I'm a fan, but I'm thinking hard about it.
God damn. No, you're not. No, you're not. No, you're not.
Well, I'll be out. So I am making one road trip. My buddy Brad is going to drive. Not Brad running to the podcast, another Brad. He's going to drive. He volunteered to drive. We're going to Atlanta to do the Hawks Magic game. So he said he want to drive the trip. I'm like, all right, you're going to take that telly ride, man. I'll fall asleep. Cool. So that'd be my last road game of the season for that. But football is always good. But, basketball is my love at heart. And we'll talk about who's. Matter of fact, good transition. Let's talk about a crazy NBA trade deadline. Jaren Jackson Jr. goes to the Utah Jazz. Jaren Jackson, Jock Landale, John Conchar, Vince Williams Jr. Walter Clayton Jr. is part of this trade going to Memphis. Cal Anderson, Taylor Hendricks, another Florida boy who played for UCF. George Niang, he's a human cigar now. He just get passed around after he run his mouth.
That's your boy, bro.
Yeah, I'm telling you. And then 3 future first-round picks. Memphis is setting to rebuild?
I'll tell you what's crazy is the night before they beat Minnesota by like 20.
Right. And I watched that game. I did not.
And they looked really good. Like they looked really good. And I was like, oh man. All right. And then they traded literally all those guys got traded. Vince Williams Jr., Jaren Jackson Jr. Apparently if your name had Jr. in it, you're gone. Meanwhile, John Morant's still there. The guy we thought would get traded, the guy that hasn't played in forever, the guy that just like you know what I mean? Like I don't know, bro. He got T on somebody, I guess. I don't know.
My thought, Paul, was they was going to build around Jaren Jackson Jr. and get rid of him.
I thought so too.
Now make these other pieces and build around him, do the cap thing, but they did mention Jaren Jackson Jr.'s contract was atrocious. It was a lot of money. But the Jazz is going in and guess they're going to pair him with Larry. And they're really going to go after this thing because it's a weird Danny Ainge trade. Usually he's the one that's trying to get young, get assets. But he went for Jaren Jackson Jr. So he sees something in him for sure.
And Utah has some decent pieces.
They do. Keontae George is on the team, so he's
Isaiah Collier is really good. So they got good guards. They got good guards, and obviously Lauri Markkanen. We got Nurkic.
Yeah,
big Nurk.
So I'm just curious to see if it's this what it is, and then Memphis is really going to commit to the rebuild, and then they already came out and said the Memphis Grizzlies saying that we're not going to cater to Ja Morant's trade request. We're going to trade the best package that's available. As you should. Sacramento's, I think, has been up there about mentioning to get him, but I think Ja mentioned he want to go to Miami.
I just don't know what Ja's trade value is at this point. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I feel like that ship's kind of sailed. Like you know what you're taking in now. You know what I mean?
I can't think of anybody else in the past 5 years that had dropped the bat more than Ja Morant. Ja Morant at one point was the best-selling jersey in the NBA. Ja Morant had all the plus. These kids loved Ja Morant. When I went to Magic Memphis Grizzlies games, there was a lot of kids that was in Ja Morant jerseys because he was always a good attitude, go-lucky guy. He was very relatable. He was very friendly, and it was all involved in social media. He had all these advertisements that were set up for him to be like, yo, you're the guy. Well, that's what happens. You get people in your ear, man. You just fall off like that. And it's unfortunate because this man has really lost some money. And you ask John, he doesn't care. He don't.
No.
He don't care. But if you can secure more money, more of this NBA money on top of advertisement money, I'm not dropping the bag like that. I just can't do it. I can't do it.
I mean, it was one of those where a few years ago, like he was the prize of the Zion draft class, man. Like he was just top of the world, bro. And then bad decisions.
Yeah. Check this out here. Cleveland's making moves, all right?
Cleveland is out here trying to take every guard in the league. They're just going to take a bunch of guards and hope that they can snap them together and make a big guy. I don't know what they're doing, but they're just getting all the guards.
So they end up getting Keon Ellis, Dennis Schroeder, and they also added James Harden.
So
they sent out Darius Garland and DeAndre Hunter. And this has been rumored that if Donovan Mitchell don't get out the first round again, he's not signing that contract extension. That's what's been said on the interweb and all that stuff.
I want to know why nobody wants DeAndre Hunter. He's good.
He is good. I don't get it.
Very serviceable guy off the bench.
Can hit the long ball.
Hit the long ball. He can defend the rim.
Rebound very well for his size. He's decent at that. Give you minutes.
It's like his third or fourth team. Guy's only been in the league for 3 years.
I guess he's one of those guys that just happen to be a trade filler. Because he's like, yeah, he's good, but he's a trade filler. So it's like, yeah.
He's an asset. Yeah, he's just an asset.
He's just an asset. But now he goes to the Kings, and it's like, what's going to happen here?
It's probably because he's still on his rookie deal. So, like, his contract's easy to work with.
Yeah. But I don't. Can we talk about the James Harden thing again?
More James Harden? What do you want to talk about? How he's going to quit on Cleveland in the postseason, or how he's going to demand a trade next year, or what do you want to talk about?
Can you make up your mind, James Harden? I mean,
man's really tarnishing his legacy, man.
He is such a talented player. Mine's the whole antics of the fouls and all that stuff. He is such a talented player. But I feel like every time I turn around, he's in a New Jersey. And then, he was wanting to go to Atlanta. That was his number one spot. Gee, I wonder why you want to go to Atlanta. Why do James Harden want to go to Atlanta? Magic City.
He wants those wings, bro. Yeah, them chicken wings.
Oh, yeah. Them Lou Will lemon pepper wings.
Yeah.
I ain't gonna lie, them things be smacking my boy.
I saw a video of James Harden, man, and it's crazy to think when you remember how dominant he was with the Rockets,
mm-hmm.
And then since then, my man's been on Brooklyn, on Philly, the Clippers. Now he's in Cleveland. Like, what? What the fuck, bro? And then the worst part is, too, it's always the same shit. It's like, you hear that he doesn't want to play there anymore, and then he comes out, I didn't demand a trade. Apparently you did, bro, because you just said you weren't going to play.
Same thing all over again.
You just quit on your team every time. You just quit on and like the Clippers aren't bad.
Yeah. They ain't. The trade just been good here, man. The Wizards, they did a 8-player trade with Dallas. So Anthony Davis, Jaden Harden, D'Angelo Russell. By the way, we got Wade, by the way. D'Angelo Russell did.
Oh.
Dante Exum, who still plays in the NBA. Wow. That's crazy. Dallas receives Chris Middleton, AJ Johnson, Malaki Branham, Marvin Bagley III, 2 future first-round picks, 3 future second-round picks.
That's a wild trade.
But remember, everybody was demanding. Everybody thought, even though when they traded Luka for Anthony Davis, everybody like, oh man, the Mavericks gonna be good, man. I'm telling you, man. And
AD can't stay healthy.
You got Trae Young and AD, Alex Sarr. It's a good core. If 2 of their stars can get healthy, and then, as far as I know, Trae Young's sitting out for the season. So they're really trying to get a good draft pick. So they add the kid from BYU. It was AJ DeBista. Might be mispronouncing his name.
You know, I butchered that name, I'm not sure. But I mean, is this it for AD, bro? Is AD just kind of this guy now? Is this what this guy went from being a franchise cornerstone big man to now he's on the Wizards?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like how the mighty have fallen. This guy won a title with LeBron in the bubble.
And now he's just getting tossed.
And now he's on the Wizards.
Potential. When he plays, he's an amazing player, defensive player. Oh, the Wizards gonna be stacked this year. Everybody's acting up when we see from Anthony Davis. Can he play?
That's what I'm saying. Like, what kind of an asset is he when you see that he misses so many games? Like, he's great when he plays. Yeah. And yeah, so does everybody else. But I guess that just shows that Dallas is all in on Cooper Flag.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we're still waiting to see what happens with Kyrie.
Yeah.
You know, we thought for sure they were gonna trade Daniel Gafford. That might still happen, but he's still there. Obviously, you had Derek Lively, so they still have some big men. They didn't necessarily need Anthony Davis, but I think it's just it allows you to put the ball in Cooper Flag's hands more.
Yeah,
I think that's kind of where they're at is let him develop. But yeah, man, that sucks. I saw Lonzo Ball got traded to Utah, so he's going to Utah, another guard for the Jazz.
Yep. That one is there, and
we're still waiting to see what happens with Giannis. We got what till what Friday?
Yeah, got to I believe Friday till the 6th. The Bulls trade Kobe White. It's going to the Hornets, so the Hornets receive him. Mike Conley Jr. Bulls receive Colin Sexton. Ousmane Dieng from the Thunder, and then Mason Plumlee's going to the Thunder. They also
we got the Celtics got Vucevic, and they've somehow made it out of the first apron, bro. They're under the cap penalty. They did it.
Yeah,
they fucking did it somehow, some way. They fucking did it. Anthony
Simon's contract is high, so that's probably why. Nick's contract is not as bad as Simon.
He has I saw Vucevic has a very favorable contract.
Two things about how I feel about this trade for Vucevic. We always talk about the Celtics not having enough size. They sometimes go small. They didn't have much at the 5 position. Buddy, Nick Vucevic at one point can play with Jaylen Brown and this talent here. And when they need a bucket in the post, he can do that. And they're under the basketball minds of Brad Stevens and this talented. I got to see this dude in green, bro. And I absolutely hate it. Because I know how good he can be for the Celtics. I hate this deal, bro. Because I'm like, low-key, this is a really good deal for the Celtics, man. This is a really good deal for the Celtics, man. I am so infuriated that I got to boo this man because he's wearing green. I won't boo Vooch. I will boo everybody else. Lee, that's so annoying.
Yeah, he's a huge upgrade because look at who they've had playing center for as good as they've been. They're a 3 seed in the East somehow, and they're playing center by committee. You know what I mean? They got what Quetta in there. They got freaking Luka Garza. It's just all these just random ass dudes, and now you bring in Vooch, who, he may not be what he was defensively. He may be a little liability on defense, but he still can rebound. He can stretch the floor. He added that to his game. He can stretch the floor. He can shoot the 3, which playing for Boston, that's huge. Which I think those other guys couldn't. Those other big men couldn't do. They weren't high percentage 3-point shooters, if at all. So now you're adding the fact that you could put a big guy on the floor that can stretch. Because we saw what they did with Al Horford. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Not the most athletic guy, but he can stretch the floor. So that's what you need because you free up the paint so the Jaylen Browns of the world can get to the rim.
That's why I'm mad because it's such a good fit for Vooch.
It is.
It's such a good fit for Vooch, man.
That's a dream. That's a dream scenario.
The team I want Orlando build around him. You could have did that Apollo and Franz and brought him back somehow, but nope. Man.
It is, bro. But yeah, we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens between now and Friday.
Yeah, a lot of moves. Then ones we didn't talk about. McCain got traded to Oklahoma City. They get a lot.
That was weird. That was weird.
Sixers get a lot of draft picks back though. A 26th first round pick and 3 future second round picks. So kind of help with that standpoint. So, but yeah, McCain going there. I guess they must believe Edgecombe. They found one Edgecombe, so they don't need McCain anymore.
That's fair.
But
guy's busy making TikToks anyway.
Yeah, pretty much. He'll fit in with those goofy guys. If they do, he'll fit right on in.
He'll be over there barking in Oklahoma City.
Yeah. So no, a lot of stuff going on. I'm pretty sure when me and Paul come back on, we'll see if Giannis been moved anywhere. Any other?
I wonder if to get Giannis, like everybody puts these trade packs together. I wonder if to get Giannis, if you also trade for Thanasis, if that's really all it takes. Like you have to get them both.
Yeah.
Like maybe that's all you need. He needs his brother with him. That's it. That's all he wants. My man just wants his brother.
I just want my brother with me.
That's it. That's it. That's all he needs. So like whenever you're trading, just have him throw in Thanasis too.
Absolutely. All right. Well, that should do it for me and Paul. We done. We got an hour out of this, so I think we're good. You got anything else, Paul? We were good here.
No, bro, I'm good, man. It's been a few weeks. Good to see you.
Yeah, likewise, man. Glad we're living. Winter Olympics is starting in a few days as well for those that are indulging in Winter Olympics. So
for those who celebrate,
Absolutely. Shout out. So, sure I'll be watching some skiing and snowboarding there if I'm nothing else is absolutely on during the day.
In the
And
time we were away, New York Giants found their head coach. Shout out.
How you feel?
Shout out John Harbaugh. I'm excited. We hired Matt Nagy as our offensive coordinator. Shout out. We're building quite a little squad over here for young Jackson Dart. And Russell Wilson was in the Epstein files. Whatever.
Even though he claimed I said it was false.
Well, so he was inquiring about buying a plane. So like the way that they put it on the internet is basically just homie's entire email thread. So like if you search for anything, it's going to show that a person is in the Epstein files. But my man Russell just wanted to buy a private jet.
Gotcha.
But one of the Giants co-owners back in the day was in the Epstein files, and that's not a good look.
Oh boy.
Yes, sir. But he sold the team, so we're chilling.
He's like, we're good. Hope the Vols end up in the Epstein files. I said that out loud. All right. All right. Make sure y'all stay tuned for us. We'll definitely recap Super Bowl and all the shenanigans that fall behind it. Bad Bunny do anything crazy, I'm pretty sure we'll talk about that too. We'll talk about some good commercials. We'll recap all that stuff. Should be fun. Maybe we get more of a panel. It'd be cool. But yeah, make sure y'all stay tuned. Check out you can follow me on Twitter at @CP. Mr. Mac, give me your.
Yes, sir. I'm on X at _Paul_Mac, and I'm on Instagram at ThePaulMac520.
Absolutely. A lot of guys that's been reaching out on TikTok. I promise you we'll figure out time to collab. I was supposed to collab with a Houston Rockets podcast. That kind of fell through. Jet lag is a real thing. It sucked. So I couldn't make the podcast. So I owe Clutch City a podcast here. And a couple of guys that reached out on TikTok, we owe y'all a podcast too. So we got to work on that, man. Collaboration is a beautiful thing. So we need to stop playing around. We'll work on that. Follow the podcast page at BOC Podcast. That's on X. That's on Twitter. That's on YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, where you found before. Facebook is also Ball on the Court Podcast. Give us a like, comment, shout there. You can go to red.fm. That's where we are on internet radio stations on Thursdays. I'm not getting any content in a while either, so I hope they cut me off. So I need to reach out to Mr. Ball and get over there, but still support them. They support us when they had that on there. So wherever you got the podcast before, keep tapping in there. Keep subscribing. We see the numbers going up on YouTube. We appreciate you guys tuning in. Sorry for the inactivity. We'll be back at it. We once we try to get paid for this stuff, man, we can get more content.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Yeah, we busy people, so
we got lives, brother. We got lives.
Yeah, absolutely. We appreciate y'all tapping in for sure. All right, guys. Well, hey, speaking for Paul, Matt, Cortez, Paul, BLC Podcast, signing out. Have a good Super Bowl Sunday, ladies and gentlemen.
Peace.